I've been hearing a lot of stuff about the Ten Commandments and it being placed inside the schooling here in America.
The law itself is very bad.
First of all, I am the Lord thy God. Yeah, but that could kind of apply to anybody, couldn't it? Like, so why is Vishnu the Lord thy God? It doesn't specify.
Okay, we're gonna cut you right there.
Take out our sword in the dark and start swinging that double-edged sword. It's quick and powerful, and it's sharp.
Back with another one, y'all. This is a message. Welcome. As always, all praise is due to the Most Heavenly Father. And with that, we're gonna start this video. I've been hearing a lot of news, and actually I found a new way to find news, kind of, because I've been behind on a lot, and I've been trying to keep up to date, but I didn't know how. And I think I kind of found something. Hopefully, let's hope it be good fruit. You know, we planted some seeds. Let's see if the fruit will bear to be good. But anyway, I've been hearing a lot of stuff about the Ten Commandments and it being placed inside the schooling here in America. Now, one state here already passed the law. In the state of Louisiana, they have passed a law that the Ten Commandments be placed inside all schools, from the beginning to the highest level of schools. And in my opinion, that's a great thing. That's just my opinion. I'm gonna get it out there already. You already know where I stand on that. It's obvious, right? And any follower of Christ should stand on the same side. You shouldn't be ashamed of it. You shouldn't think any negativity towards it, because no one cares about what they show in school, So we shouldn't either when it comes to anything of God, anything of the Most High. When it comes to that, we should be proud about it and stand up for it. And that's just me. But let's get into some video about it also, so we can kind of get up to date on what's going on. I haven't watched it yet, and we can do this together. From what I'm seeing, we have some people that's against it, some people that's for it. One of our presidential candidates, Donald Trump, seems to be for it. From what I'm hearing, from what I read. And then we have some people against it. I've seen a clip of these women that's on a panel or a talk show called The View, and they were against it. And some other people were against it. So let's just tap in and see what's going on. And we'll get some word about it, and let's see where we go with it. So right here we have just a background on it. Let's see.
This bill mandates the display of the Ten Commandments in every classroom in public, elementary, secondary, and post-education schools in the state of Louisiana. Because if you want to respect the rule of law, you got to start from the original lawgiver, which was Moses. All right.
Louisiana's education law is so bad that one of the witnesses to its passage literally fainted. And while we hope she's okay, the law itself is very bad. And we have.
Whoa. Someone passed out. A child fainted because of the signing of that law. Now, I don't know if the child was in disbelief that it was signed, like, oh, I can't believe they finally did it. Or they passed out because I can't believe they did this. If it's a child, I don't know how when you consider someone a child, I say they're, under a teenager. So if it was a child, what was that child being taught if they passed out because they thought it was wrong? What were they being taught? Now, if they was passed out because they were in disbelief that it actually happened, how did they pass out? No, but let's just continue.
Have more information on it.
Hold on, George, before you get that information,
Yes.
I mean, look, if we're putting up the 10 Commandments in the schools and a young girl that attends one of those schools passes out, I mean, who struck her down? I don't know. Maybe this is bad news. Maybe you picked the wrong commandment. I don't know. You guys are the ones who say this is gonna help. So far, all it's done is hurt. Okay, that's 0-1 is their starting record. All right, we'll get to that.
So it looks like these guys are against it because he says, I heard the guy say there was a bad law, and then this guy says, they're on the losing record. So let's just hear what they got to say.
A story and how you can fight back too.
Of course, it does feel like an ominous warning, and they're not going to heed it. But the legislation which Republican Governor Jeff Landry signed into law yesterday makes Louisiana the first state in the country to require the 10 Commandments in classrooms. This includes publicly funded schools. House Bill 71, approved by state lawmakers last month, mandates that a poster-sized display of the 10 Commandments with large, easily readable font be in every classroom at schools that receives state funding from kindergarten through the university level. Under the law, state funds won't be used to implement the mandate. The posters would be paid for through donations. Before signing the bill, Landry called it one of his favorites. Legislation specifies the exact language that must be printed on the classroom displays, including, I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt have no other gods before me, thou shalt not make to thyself any graven images, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
Can we pause there for a second, Jordan?
Why was he laughing at that? That's one thing this guy with the 2 earrings in his ear, 2 black earrings in his ear. Why are you laughing?
Again, so look, we're going to show you the 10 Commandments as they're putting them up. But first of all, I am the Lord thy God. Yeah, but that kind of apply to anybody, couldn't it? Like, so why is Vishnu the Lord thy God? It doesn't specify.
Okay, we're gonna cut you right there. I know what time it is. All right, so why is it Vishnu? You remember I had the video about the monkey god and all that kind of stuff, and that's where Vishnu he falls under that. Those gods. Let's realize, and what we gotta remember is, right? What we gotta remember is this country was built. It was built with Christianity there. It started with Christianity there. It didn't just come about. It started with it. And without it, I don't believe we will be where we are today. Granted, some of the followers didn't follow it because they were murdering, they were killing. And we're going to get into the 10 Commandments real quick. But what we got to realize is that America started with, Christianity. So this is not like it's something new. This isn't like you're bringing other gods about. This was the God that was already here. From what we know of history, this was the God that was already here. And we can get into a deeper conversation about that. Me saying that without them having Christianity, this country would not be what it is today. And them having God's people here also would not, this country wouldn't be where it is today. But that's a topic for another discussion. Let's stay on topic right here about the 10 Commandments being in the school. Now, these guys are clearly against it. It seems like they're laughing and making these little jokes. And he's talking about other gods and that it can apply to any God. No, we know that the 10 Commandments applies to the one only God, the God of Moses, the God of Abraham, the God of Joseph. This is where the 10 Commandments come from. Well, they may say that there's other places where they have the same laws, but it's not laid out like the 10 Commandments in the format that the 10 Commandments are laid out in. It's not like that. So we all know, unless you were living under a rock, you know what the 10 Commandments are and which God, gave you the 10 Commandments. It's really that simple. But let's get into the 10 Commandments. Right? Let's get into it. And I'm going to get into it from Exodus 20. And I like Exodus 20 because it gives you some context. It doesn't just give you the law. It gives you some of the context of the law. Right? He was talking about this first one right here. So we're going to start at Exodus 20:1. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Pretty clear and cut to me. Don't put any gods before him. That's real simple. Why put a God before your creator? This is what it's saying. You were created with a purpose that God intended. He spent a lot of energy, effort creating you. Look at your design. Look at your design and just think about if you were to create something like that, how long would it have taken you? Since everyone wants to think like God. Think about the time he took to put into the creation, right? To put someone, another being or something else before him to say, hey, I love money more than God. When God created you, took his time to allow you to be on this earth and enjoy the fruits of this earth, whether you did or whether you didn't, he still gives you the opportunity to live it and also to be with him. Why would you put anything before him? Let's continue. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Now he's giving you context to this, because a lot of people get hung up on this jealous God thing, right? And we gotta look at it like this. Say you had a son or a daughter, and let's use sports, and you put them in sports, and you took them to practices. You took off work to get them to practices. You bought jerseys. You bought sports drinks. You made all the team meetings. You did this for years on years, and you continue to take away from your life and put into their life in this dream of theirs to become this sports star or whatever, this great sports person, right? Now, when this child gets of age, now this child goes to the coach and says, hey, you're like a father to me, or you're like a mother to me. And then he tells you that I don't believe you were really there for me. Yeah, you may have took me to practices and all that, but you wasn't really there for me. I don't believe that you were there for me. I don't appreciate anything you really did. I see that you did it, but you were supposed to. You were my father or my mother. You were supposed to do this. It wasn't, you were my mother or father, but this coach really understands me, and blah, 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 right? Now, naturally, as a parent, you will have a jealousy, not jealous towards the coach and saying, hey, I want what you have. It's more like I love this person, and they're not even acknowledging the love that I'm giving them. They're giving it to someone else that probably doesn't love them like I love them. This is the jealousy that we're speaking of. It's like I explained this before, it's like if your wife or your husband went somewhere else and treated someone else like their wife. A husband treating another woman like he would treat his wife, and his wife getting jealous of that. It isn't a bad jealousy. It's like, hey, I really love you, and I thought you loved me. It's not a hateful jealousy. It's more of a righteous jealousy. We know that you can be jealous in two ways now. It's not just one way. So before anybody get hung up on that jealous, why would God be jealous? We're not talking about your human-like jealousy, that you're jealous of someone having something you don't have or anything like that. We're talking about a deep, meaningful jealousy of one that love, you can't even comprehend the love that God has for you. You know what I mean? So let's continue. And he's showing it down to the third generations of them that hate him, and showing mercy to thousands that love him and keep his commandments. Let's not get too hung up on it. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. And that's pretty much, don't take his name in vain. Don't treat him like he's nothing. This is your creator. Don't blaspheme his name. Don't take it in vain. Don't act as though you're something that greater. To him, you're like dust to God. He created so many things. Imagine you having a bunch of just anything that you created, a bunch of pictures. Any picture you might lose, it might hurt, but then it's like I can make another one. And this is how God is. Like, he can make another you if he wanted to. But he gave you that chance. He loved you. He made you in his image to create to follow a specific path. And don't take that in vain. Don't throw that in the dirt. Don't blaspheme it. Don't defile it. Treat it with respect, right? Remember, keep the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. The Sabbath day is for man, not man for the Sabbath. And all that's saying is get some rest. Rest your body. Your body needs rest. Your stomach needs rest. Your mind needs rest. Your arms and your legs needs rest. Everything needs rest. It's not a thing on the planet that doesn't need rest. Even machines. Machines can go on, but eventually you got to stop them and, lube them up or something to get them to keep going. Everything needs its rest. And in due time, rest is worth it. All this, I work 24/7, work nonstop. That's a lie. That's something to take you away from resting that God gave you. God gives you this rest. And he's showing you, hey, rest from the creation. Rest to give me glory on that day. Take a break away from the earthly and worldly things. Take a break from it. It can be draining. Take a break from it. Praise me. Show me some love. And, everything, you will feel so better. You'll feel good because it's a blessed day. You refresh your body, you refresh your mind. And how loving is that for God to tell you that? He's telling you that for your own good. He could have just said, hey, work all you want to. And some of these people will work to death, like some people do. But he's telling you right here, this is the reason why you have a day off on so-called Sunday. This is why. Because these laws was what America was founded on. Let's not forget that. It's the reason why you have some of these things that's already in play. And this is one of them. Because, you could be getting worked 7 days a week, right? You can't be, right? So let's continue. Honor and those laws right there, I would say is the ones that's most controversial, I guess. But everything after this now is pretty much, elementary. It's golden. No one should have a problem with any of these laws right here. So let's continue. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Real easy. Honor thy father and mother. Give them honor. For without them, really without God, but they are a catalyst to why you're here. So without them, you wouldn't be here. So honor them. Show them respect. Even though some parents are not the best parents, best mother and father. They might have been horrible to you, treated you real wrong, but you never know their circumstances. You never know what they've been through. Never know what trauma they've been through to treat their child that way, or make them think that it was okay to treat their child that way. Obviously, they wasn't following the Bible. If they were, they wouldn't treat you that way, right? That's for one thing. For another thing is, just let them talk their talk. Just get away from them when you get the opportunity to. But always show them respect. Don't disrespect them. Let them say their piece. Say, okay, mom, okay, dad, I hear you. I'm over here though. I'm not gonna disrespect you. But I don't have to be disrespected either. I can remove myself from that situation, but always respect them. Always don't disrespect them. That's the thing. You don't have to be around them and do all that kind of stuff, but you want to respect them when you're around them. And if they're disrespectful, you separate yourself or try to get out the way, but you don't never disrespect them, and that's just what that is. And your days will be long upon the land. Some people's days are not long upon the land, even though they do respect them, but that's a different thing. But some people life are people's days are long upon the land, and they're not good days because they didn't follow this, right? And these are some of the automatic blessings you get. That's an automatic blessing. Thou shalt not kill. Anybody that don't agree with that probably don't need to be here. Thou shalt not commit adultery. That's pretty cool. I mean, don't cheat on your spouse. Don't go to someone else. You picked them. I picked each other. You committed to that. Stay true to it. I mean, this is God telling you this. Why would he tell you that? Because it's good. Thou shalt not steal. Who wants a thief around them? Who wants to worry about their stuff being stolen? Thou shalt not steal. It's something pretty cool. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Another thing, don't lie on someone. Don't say someone was here and they wasn't, then they're in trouble. You don't know what that may have caused. Don't sit here gossip about this person and it be false. Now you tarnishing this person's image. That's pretty cool too. That's good, right? Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Another thing, don't be jealous of other people's stuff. Don't want what they have. Don't want your neighbor's wife, because then you may commit adultery. Now you're breaking two. You stole. Thou shalt not steal. You stole his wife, and then you committed adultery with her. That's 3 laws breaking in one. You see how some of these can go along with each other? Stealing may lead to killing. You may go to steal something goes wrong. Now you had to kill someone. You know what I'm saying? Same with bearing false witness. Someone may say, "Hey, I seen him do this," and now someone end up killing someone over that. It's really that simple, and there's nothing wrong with these laws being in school to me. I mean, I have it in my house, and my kids see it, and now if they see it in school, it'll be more, make more sense as they get older. And it's always good to know these things, just to see it, to constantly see it. Somebody that may have been a thief may keep seeing it and say, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, I shouldn't be stealing, right? I shouldn't steal." If somebody seeing thou shalt not kill, it might slow down those mass murderers at school. It might see it all the time. Say, "You know what? I'm not gonna kill these people." They and it might stop a lot of stuff, but a lot of people think otherwise. But who am I to say? I'm with it, because everything being pushed in schools nowadays, they push the Big Bang on you, Big Bang Theory. They push science, solar system and all this. They push all that on you. So what's wrong with this being put in schools? I see nothing wrong with it. Let's continue on that video though. But as you guys can see, the 10 Commandments, there's nothing wrong with them.
So every God says they're the God, right? Like the Ohio State. So that's a commandment. That's one of the 10 most important things.
First of all, every God doesn't say the God. That's for one. And we know who this God is. The God that this country was founded upon.
God saying, "I'm the right God." And why are they constantly competing? And I thought there was one God. Anyway, thou shalt have.
God isn't competing. He's not competing. As he says, put no other God before me. He's not competing with him. Because those are not even true gods. Those, you're putting things above them, in a sense. None of these people, none of these so-called gods can create you. So he's not putting them aside. He's just saying don't put them before him.
Have no other gods before me, always very jealous. If I was the most powerful creature in the universe, probably wouldn't have time for jealousy. Okay, thou shalt not make thy.
Another thing, I addressed that jealousy statement. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Like everybody clings to that. But he said something about if he was the most powerful creature in existence, which is wild to say, but this is why you aren't the most powerful creation or creature. Because you don't even know how to process the mindset of God. You can't process it. You're thinking from your own human standpoint. Oh, if I was this, I wouldn't do this. Of course you wouldn't, because you would think like a human and probably mess something up.
Any graven images. That's interesting. Are we sure this isn't Islam? Because remember, if you draw the picture of Muhammad, they got a big trouble. Oh, but a graven image. So can we put up the Muslim version too, that if you draw the Prophet Muhammad right underneath the 10 Commandments? Because as long as we're putting up religion in the schools, why discriminate? I mean, this seems pretty anti-Semitic. Why not put up something from the Torah or etc., right? Now look, I get it, Old Testament, New Testament, but you might not know the Quran is the third book. Old Testament, New Testament, Quran, right? So why not put something up from all the books? Why not put the Bhagavad Gita up?
Thanks for.
Well, I'm in that statement. The Quran is not a third book. Jesus never spoke of a third book coming. And he actually tells us, if an angel bring a different doctrine, believe him not. An angel. It doesn't matter who it is, basically is what he's saying. If anyone brings a different doctrine from the one he spoke of and the one he's teaching, believe them not. So he gave us a forewarning of others to come with different doctrine, which the Quran is a different doctrine. It doesn't teach the same things. And it is not a third installment to the books of the Bible, to the Holy Scriptures. I don't know what it is, but it's not that. So you nip that in the butt. But it's a reason why we don't have those things. Like I said, I'm gonna come back to it, because this country was founded on Christianity. It was founded with Christianity. It was here from the beginning. It didn't just come about, later on. You know what I mean? So let's see like what Trump has to say about it, because like I said, we have an endorsement, which I see right here. Faith in freedom. And the top says Trump endorses 10 Commandments in schools, implores evangelical Christians to vote in November. So I guess he's doing this for votes, And I'm not gonna get into presidential candidates and all that, or who I pick and who's this. Well, I will get in who I would pick, but as far as the presidential candidate goes, is pick your poison. Which poison are you gonna pick? The one that's gonna make your stomach hurt, or the one that's gonna make your head hurt? The ones that's gonna pop your eyes out, or the one that's gonna make you bleed internally? Which one are you gonna pick? And that's how it's been every year with presidents, in my opinion. There was no good president, not one. You know what I mean? It's just unless someone from the people, from the bottom, somehow finds a way to infiltrate the system or get into that playing field, there would never be a president that is for the people. And that's what I mean when I say good president. There hasn't been a president that was for the people. They're usually for the upper. And the people, I say, the people are the people at the bottom. Not the people at the top. People at the bottom. The people that hold this country on their backs. Those people. There hasn't been someone in office that I remember, since I've been an adult, that has been for the people. They say things for the people. They promise things for the people, but they haven't been for the people. But that's another topic. Like I said, we got to continue where we're going with this. And Donald Trump here, I don't agree with everything he says, but I agree with this. I agree with him saying this, even if it is just for votes, right? Because some presidents won't even take it this far. Some presidents won't even speak on this. They won't even care about it. Say, it's not important, right? Or may say 2 words and, don't agree or disagree. Or they might just disagree just to be with the people. But he, actually, agreed with it, from my understanding. And with Donald Trump, I can appreciate his openness, because a lot of times, back in the day, I was looking at a lot of conspiracy and all this stuff like that, and a lot of times these presidents are really just puppets. You know what I mean? Even Donald Trump, to an extent. So a lot of them say things in the open, but behind closed doors say something else. They're not telling you everything to your face. They're hiding their hands. Donald Trump, on the other hand, he's showing his hand. He shows you who he is. He's out and open with it. And I can appreciate that, because you're not being fooled with him in a sense of who he is. That's why a lot of people don't like him, because he's showing too much of who he is, and he's out and open with it. People like it to be more spoon-fed. Hey, don't show me everything at one time. If I find out later that you wasn't a good guy, okay, cool. But he's showing you who he is right away, and I can appreciate that. But let's see. This is something. Donald Trump is pretty funny. So look at this statement right here, right? So he's saying that Christians can't afford to sit on the sidelines in this election, imploring them to go vote. Christians, please. So see, he's getting it for votes. I mean, obviously, every president is going to try to get as many voters as they can. Here's a statement from him. Has anyone read "Thou shalt not steal"? I mean, has anybody read this incredible stuff? It's just incredible. Trump said at a gathering. They don't want it to go up. It's a crazy world. See, I can agree with that. And that's pretty funny. Him acting like he don't know what the 10 Commandments is. Talking about, has anyone read "Thou shalt not steal"? I mean, it's incredible stuff. That's funny. But we can see that he's just trying to get votes. Let's see what he has to say. I haven't watched anything yet, but let's see from this little short that I pulled up.
And we do not answer to the bureaucrats in Washington. We answer to God in heaven. Who likes the 10 Commandments, by the way, going up in the schools? But Christians cannot afford to sit on the sidelines. If Joe Biden gets back in, Christianity will not be safe. We have also achieved what the pro-life movement fought to get for 49 years, and we've gotten abortion out of the federal government.
So the man has spoken. I mean, I like what he said in the beginning. We listen to God first. Even if he's just trying to get votes, hey, I'm with the message. I'm with that message. Whether he gets the votes or not, I'm with that message. So the other guy, the other people ain't saying it, So I'm with that. Like I said, I don't agree with everything Donald Trump says. Don't get it twisted now. But I agree with that. And he says something else at the end where he says, we got all these other laws. We got abortion laws. They're trying to pass same-sex marriage laws and all this kind of stuff. So the 10 Commandments ain't that bad. Those are more pushed upon people. And for those to be pushed upon people, we're talking about sins being pushed upon people, but a guide not to sin is bad for people. Like those other guys that were laughing in the video, like that was just a bad idea, but it's a good idea for this other stuff. You see how wicked the land has become. You can't even, post things against sin anymore. Or it's a problem. If it's against sin, it's a problem. And that's crazy. Let's see what this It's short on the view.
It wasn't really stuff you discussed with other people. You had your beliefs. You had your religious thing, and if you weren't religious, nobody knew. But if you want your child to have a religious education, send them to a religious school.
Yeah.
Hold on now. Now that statement, it goes back to what I was saying about, the Big Bang Theory being pushed in school. Why are those things being pushed in school, but this can't be pushed in school? That's a belief in its own. Science. They got a Scientology. They got a whole religion, low key. Well, but that's being pushed. The history of America is being pushed. All that, how they killed and ravaged through lands to get what they wanted. That's being pushed. All this stuff is being pushed in school, but you're trying to tell me this is, the straw that breaks the camel's back?
There's nothing stopping you. Get out of my pocket, get out of my body, and get out of my school.
So I'm trying to listen real carefully to what they're saying. It sounds like what they're saying is that not only should the Ten Commandments be posted in all the schools, but it also should be posted in everybody's private homes, which maybe, I don't know, maybe that's not a bad idea. What is so controversial about thou shalt not murder, and thou shalt not lie, and thou shalt not covet?
Can I address what they said? I mean, obviously, this is Joy Behar trying to take a stab at Donald Trump and mocking him and saying, why isn't it posted at Mar-a-Lago? Because, of all the things he's done. And they.
Well, I don't know what she was saying about it, getting her hands out of pockets and out of home and all that. Now, I see that guy said something about it being placed in everyone's home, which that's your house now. You can't force anyone to put something in their house. But as far as schools go, I'm okay with that. I'm not sure what Whoopi Goldberg was talking about. Let's check the comments out. I don't even know how The View has viewers. It's like the people that are on our side, huh? Maybe The View is okay with drag shows and sexually implicit books. The Ten Commandments are what all parents should be teaching their children. Call it something else if you want. They are moral codes as well as the law of God. As long as you love your neighbor, all else follows. Whoopi is sick. I feel like she should come back crying about how she's grown to hate God. If alphabet people flags can fly from government buildings and be painted on streets, then don't complain when the other group wants their stuff. Hey man, the people are back. The people are back. And I've been to say this. I've been noticing the shift, and I know a lot of you guys have been noticing this shift. It's more open. So-called Christianity or followers of Christ, it's more open now. Before, it seemed like everyone's hesitant to come and pick a side, or people were hesitant to put their beliefs out there because it might offend someone. Or now it's like, hey, this is who we are. Deal with it, because everybody else want to be all loud and proud, like kind of like what they said. And I'm glad. I like seeing it. I like seeing the people stand up for Jesus and stand up for him like he would stand up for you. And it's a beautiful thing to see it now, to see it happening all over. And hopefully it continues. I hope y'all seeing this shift. It's been happening, and it's only going to get, the ball is only going to roll downhill faster and faster and faster for the takeover. Y'all know what time it is. But there you have it. I mean, some people are against it, some people are with it. Me, obviously, I'm with it. And I believe that it should be put in all the schools. Louisiana, good job out there. Hopefully everyone else follows, all the other states. And hopefully the world follows, honestly. All those worlds, everyone in the world that wants the right moral code instilled, that's already written in your heart, but shown, so it's a reminder of what to do and what not to do. It may stop things from happening just from people seeing it. You never know. Some people say it's a bad idea. They're forcing it. Some people say it's a good idea. It'll help. All in all, we'll see. And I don't know if it's genuine or if it's a plan for something bigger, to introduce something more. You know, I don't know yet. Let's just hope it's genuine. And with that, this is just a message. Don't shoot the messenger. All praise due to the Most High. Catch y'all later.